Right, we're here, we've made it, it's the final day of Inbound, and boy, what a couple of days this has been. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted, Adam.
Yeah, we're exhausted, but we're still standing. And I think we're in my favourite place, which is the demo area of the HubSpot Inbound Conference. So all around us are all the features and the different hubs, and there's experts everywhere to really get into the detail.
Exactly, you've got product managers littered absolutely everywhere here, and you can get basically any answer to any question that you ask, right? This is like a very inspiring, motivational place to be, especially if you're trying to make sure that you get the best out of your HubSpot investment. This is the place to be. So, Adam, 200 product updates, one whole new loop marketing playbook. There has been so much this conference that we've had to go through, but I really want to talk about some of the specifics, one of which is Data Hub, right? Formerly Operations Hub, if I'm right in saying, which is there, I think, to solve a very common issue I think we all face, which is around unstructured, structured, and external data sitting under the same CRM, but making the data meaningful, right? So what I'm questioning to you is, this seems like a win-win, but what does this actually mean for businesses?
Yeah, it's a huge step forward because most businesses struggle with data that's trapped in the system. So it's trapped on an email, it's trapped in a document, and you can't access it.
Call transcripts?
Calls that aren't connected, and it's siloed because it's stuff in other places. And so what they're doing is they're taking all that structured and unstructured data and putting it into the CRM in a way that can be used by the user, but then accessed by the AI and the AI agents and things like that. So it's absolutely huge. And I think the Data Studio and Data Hub makes a lot of sense rather than calling it Ops Hub. Okay, so we're actually talking about data, which is the core. And HubSpot has got to make a huge play in this world of AI for being the single source of truth. And it's doing it.
Yep.
Practically what that means is that we've got kind of a concept now of a self-enriching CRM.
Yeah.
So calls, emails, things that are happening all left, right, and center within the CRM,
Yep.
but also taking signals from the web and then taking data from other tools. It's all going to be brought together.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways of sort of seeing that is the sort of table view that they've got in Data Hub now, where you can kind of see all the stuff in a kind of nice place. You can use AI then to enrich within that table, so it can crawl your data and do calculations, make judgments, enrich, categorize the data. And so you've got this data layer. Now the other thing that I love is segments.
Okay, nice.
So segments is primarily aimed at marketing people, but it's then the ability then to segment your database down to really, really granular level.
Yeah.
The kind of ways that we sort of dream of. So, who attended a webinar, has been on our site, has done this, has done that, has done the other, has been a customer, maybe not engaged with us for 6 months. You could have hundreds of very, very granular segments because we've got really good data to allow that. So from there, it's all about the outreach.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got good data and we can use AI to do the personalization. Okay,
Totally.
and when you've got that data, I think there's two routes. One is the kind of sales outreach, and one is the marketing activity.
Absolutely.
And on the sales side of things, what I'm excited about is how we can use the prospect agent then to kind of do that one-to-one outreach at scale.
Absolutely.
And then the second one is the AI email tools now, which allow us to create genuinely one-to-one emails at scale, so we can send 2,000 emails out, but everybody's going to get an individual email.
Right.
And we've dreamt of this for so long, and it's there.
Yeah, and I think this is something that's not just going to benefit the marketeers. This is something that the sales teams can leverage, the customer success managers can leverage. You've got a multitude of people within that business that can really genuinely feel the benefits of having that clean data, but also have that from a variety of sources, which I think brings us quite nicely onto Smart CRM, right? HubSpot have really emphasized some messaging. I was speaking to Karen Ng this morning, Executive Vice President of HubSpot Products, and she was telling me the approach to Smart CRM is basically a CRM that partners with you, which I really liked, versus it just being a CRM that you use. It's one there to be helpful to you. So it seems to be that the Smart CRM is there to enrich and provide those smart insights. How do you see that kind of removing or helping with the simplifying of the workloads for end users in their everyday?
Well, it's just making everything accessible and easy to access. So I'll give you an example. I mean, previous to this, we have that thing where someone might send you an email and the email will be in the CRM, but it would have their mobile phone number on the email. and it would sort of previously be able to take that email and put it into your CRM, and that was like an early concept.
Yeah.
But now really it's kind of looking at all the elements of the communications and the call recordings, and it's filling in properties that you think are relevant to them.
This is it.
And so in a sales process, it's understanding the types of conversations we've had, the types of the topics that have been brought up, the kind of objections that might have been made, and it's extracting that out of all of the unstructured data and putting it into properties so that you can easily see it. So it's taking unstructured, structuring it, and once you do that, then you can use automation, you can use agents on top of it, and then you can use those segments. So it's really, really exciting.
And let's not forget, there's also that external data element to this too. So whether that means that company has either been acquired or they've had some fantastic news, the fact personalization has gone beyond, hey Adam, the first name element of it, which some people still fail to manage to actually do nowadays, which I find bizarre. But
what's interesting about that though, Elliot, is that I went to a really good talk and by the kind of engineers behind all of this, and so they've got to a position now where the whole email can be written like completely by AI, right? And taking out all the relevant bits of information. But what in their testing, they've worked out that the best format is that the first paragraph is still quite standard. So in the way that we do our kind of outreach emails, there's a kind of structure that works. The opening paragraph, there's a way to do it that works, and we don't need AI for that. And the closing kind of part of the email and the CTAs, that works. It's the bit in the middle, the context, where you're playing back to that person what was discussed when we last spoke, when we saw you, pain points. That is the bit in the middle that makes a huge difference. And now we can completely write that uniquely for each person, and
that's really interesting. That whole structure piece, I was almost half expecting that to kind of be let's go personalization from the very beginning. But it sounds like there's a much more kind of methodical approach to this, that you can still use standardization in language, but then level up deeply personalized there throughout the email.
Yeah, because I think with all this technology, it's great, but as humans, it looks like email is not going anywhere, right? Like there's a sort of acceptance and a way of doing email that we're all used to. And so, putting that layer of personalization over that is without kind of fundamentally disrupting the email is what's going to work.
Absolutely. Let's talk about other disruptors, agents, AI, all this really exciting stuff. We've had a few announcements around agents on this conference. We've talked about the new data agent, customer agents, etc., but also the all-in-powerful, which I'm really excited about, Breeze Studio. The ability for you to customize and build agents that understand your business, your processes, the ways you work, to then basically have agents that sit alongside your employees. They almost become part of a team.
Yeah.
What does this all mean?
Gosh, there's so much to unpack there. I mean, I think the first thing to say is that HubSpot is very much, quite rightly, pushing the idea of hybrid. So, human and AI together. We're and I think it's a slight relief, really. We're not seeing AI being a threat to us. It's definitely something that's going to support us.
Totally.
We sat here last year, or in Boston last year.
In Boston.
And they had just introduced agents, and they were very early. And it's sort of mind-blowing where we've gone in 12 months. And now we have this entire library of off-the-shelf AI agents. So for customers who are thinking, I'm not sure what an AI agent is, I'm not sure how it's to be used, we've got a whole load of ready to use. So things like the deal loss agent, I can see behind me there. So what it does is when the deal is closed lost, it goes back through all the records and all the transcripts and all the unstructured data, and it gives it an opinion and data around why that closed. What were the reasons? That's the sort of thing that salespeople never get around to doing.
They don't, of course not. And I guess having that commonality of those surfaced insights around what is failing in the sales process is crucial for businesses to enable themselves to grow and scale, right? In terms of other things agents, anything else that you've got insight on?
I mean, so in HubSpot now, live, although in beta, is a whole load of agents that people can play with for free until the end of the year, so it won't use any credits.
Top tip.
Apart from some that are credits like the customer agent. So that's that. So I would encourage everybody to just go and have a play. You're not gonna create any major problems. Just do it. But to your point though, the next step for all of us is custom agents. So for those of us that have played around with custom GPTs, it's a kind of similar concept.
Totally.
But the thing is we'll be able to create our own agents to solve our own use cases inside HubSpot. So we don't need to go and buy another tool. We don't need a make.com or an NAN. It's here, and the beauty of it is it's taking all the data out of the records, out of the deals, out of the company information, and it's allowing you to build something that does the job for you. Now, I think that is absolutely mind-blowing, and it just takes the heavy lifting out of agents.
So here's a hot take. How do you strike that perfect balance between personalization and automation? Do we even know the answer to that yet?
No clue.
Because I guess there is this level of like autonomy where you can let those agents go wild across all sorts of things. And I know HubSpot have built the barriers to ensure that they don't just go wild.
Yeah.
There is levels of protection. So how can businesses, like you said, go around and play about it, but in a secure manner? Let's talk a bit about partner ecosystem. Where do partners come in on all this to help customers through that journey?
Yeah, I mean, partners are going to be really crucial to help customers do this safely. And a partner that understands data, understands CRM, that's the most important thing, and then understands your business, right? Because we need use cases that are relevant. We can't. There's no point in creating agents just for the sake of it and fun stuff like book. I mean, having said that, I used an agent to book a restaurant in San Francisco.
No way.
Yeah, it was really good. It found the top restaurants, and then it went and found availability. I had to book it,
but it did the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah. So we can do all the fun stuff, but we need like practical use cases for businesses, and I think that's where a partner can come in, build stuff, get people off the ground, demo them, do it in a safe environment.
Totally. I think there is that commonality of, if you can start to understand, because we at Perspicuity have done this for the likes of Copilot, right? Microsoft 365 Copilot, you can do Copilot agents. It's really understanding granularly where your business can start removing those very cumbersome manual processes with the introduction of very smart, intuitive agents and automations and workflows. So it's kind of, you can do the same thing, but from a CRM perspective and from a sales process perspective, a service perspective, customer success management perspective, there is so much I think that you can be capable of doing nowadays.
And you're just limited by your imagination. I mean, it sounds a bit trite, but honestly, and I think what they've done with the Breeze Marketplace, they've got you started, they've given you some ideas.
Yeah.
So another good one that's in there is the customer success handoff, so sales to customer success.
Love that.
So
massive common problem for businesses as well.
It's going to go and look through all the records and summarize what the customer success team need to know, the history of that deal, the kind of maybe challenges, and it just does it and puts it in the CRM ready for them to do.
Love that.
And obviously salespeople are busy, they've got other priorities, sometimes they don't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had the luxury of being here in San Francisco, but for the likes that aren't available to be here, BBD Boom are there based in the UK to help businesses leverage HubSpot fully with return on investment. There is a sneaky event coming up soon with you guys that you're hosting. Do you want to share some details on that?
Yes, so the great news is that BBD Boom is now part of the Saloy Group. So we are now 250 employees across Europe. So we're really scaling up to provide the sort of support that we're talking about to customers. And we've got an event at Grow London in November this year, and we'll be having an event on the side for our customers and prospects and HubSpot. So yeah, we'd love to see people there.
Absolutely. Adam, it's been a pleasure, as always, catching up with you here at Inbound. Thank you so much for the time and the insights. And we'll catch you very soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Elliot. Cheers.